What is up, Sooner Nation? What's up, Surgeaholics? Welcome, Sooner Surge Live, back at you on this Friday night. A little early tonight. I'm by myself, guys and gals, so I'm gonna need your help tonight. Jeremy is on a bus right now, so don't think he'll be joining us. So appreciate everybody on here already. We got a lot of the normals on here. Appreciate it. Clay, Chester, Monty, Dalpos. We can go down the list. Benjamin. Want some positivity in here tonight, Benjamin says. Well, we are going to talk some positive tonight. I promise you. First time listening this week, what's some scoop? And I think also Clay asked about some OC scoop. There's no news on that. I have not heard anything. Now, I'm not somebody that would probably know a whole lot anyway. I'm a fan. So, but there's not a whole lot of movement, I don't think, on that right now. And who knows when there will be. What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? How are y'all doing tonight? Jen, how you doing? Yeah, and Hub, it does seem to be the flavor of the day. I've already told everybody my opinion on Craddock. I'm not a fan, okay? And it may end up being Craddock. I'm just out here to say I'm not a fan of that hire, okay? And I may be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. So, but I just, I think the interesting thing is, guys, there's a lot of schools right now that are looking for OCs. Florida State, Michigan. I saw some things on Michigan today that sounds like they're going after big name guys. And I think a lot of schools with that type of name would. And that's kind of what the thing is about Oklahoma, guys. I know we've talked about Mullen, and a lot of people say Mullen doesn't want the job. Then who's the next biggest guy you can go after? Is it Arbuckle? Is it Craddock? I mean, they don't seem like big time names to me. Now, whether or not they can be a good offensive coordinator, it remains to be seen. But when you think of like a big-time name hire, who else is out there? I've heard Rich Rodriguez's name. I've heard Jimbo Fisher's name thrown around there. Not at OU, not for OU, but for other schools. So I don't know. Who knows on that? And I think Sooner fan nails it. I think right now Mullen and everybody else. He's the home run hire. Everyone else is unproven. None of them have played in the SEC. That's another thing. That's the thing. I haven't heard anything on this, Michael, so I don't know where you're going with this, but we got to talk about it. I got some stuff I want to talk about tonight. Right now, it's a single surge. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Yeah, Miguel, you're right, Miguel. Dead on. Call everybody. You just never know. Call them all. You're the University of Oklahoma. Call everybody. Some things I want to talk about tonight. We are going to talk tonight about the seniors. Some of the guys that have stuck it out, because I think it's unfair. You're going into one of the biggest games in Norman in a while, as far as Alabama coming to town, a game that everybody circled on their calendar. All of us did, even before the season. Maybe people now aren't looking forward to it because OU's not playing well, but I'm still looking forward to it. You never know what can happen on any given Saturday night, okay? And tomorrow's an any given Saturday night, and who knows what's going to happen? You never know. So we're going to talk about the seniors who have freaking came to Oklahoma, guys, during COVID. That's how long it's been. And they've stuck through a bunch of stuff, okay? Riley leaving. They've had different offensive and defensive coordinators. They've switched from the Big 12 to the SEC. You name it, they've been through it. So I would love for these guys to go out in a great way tomorrow. I think it'd be awesome. But what I'd like to do tonight, one thing I'd like to do, we can do it throughout the whole night, but maybe drop one of your favorite memories of some of these seniors. You got a bunch of them, but maybe drop one of your favorite memories. Ron's asking, do we lose Dominique? That's a great question. I don't know, Ron. I think they're going to lose quite a bit in the portal and from graduate. I think you're going to lose quite a bit. Yeah, Chris, unbelievable. And we have to talk about Farouk. And Jody brings up Ohio State Heartline. I love Heartline, Jody. I just don't think that would happen. We got to bring up the Farouk stuff. I'm so confused on it. Jalil Farouk on Tuesday, I believe at the press conference with Brent Venables, was talked about Farouk and said, we want him to have more action this week in the game, more touches. And now 3 days later, he's out. What the heck's going on? I don't understand it. He wasn't even listed. Hey, see you, Maddox. Have a good one. He wasn't even listed on the injury report. Now he's out. I don't understand it. I know Michael brought up training staff. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. What's up, KB? How you doing? Clay says Stutzman's 2023 pre-Texas speech. Yeah, that was a great one. Woody Washington has Sooner fan. We're trying to be positive tonight, Sooner fan. You drop that in there. Come on, bro. But maybe tomorrow night's his night. Maybe he gets a pick six. How would that be? Portal, Gray God says. This is probably $1 million question. Nobody knows, Chris. I don't know. Nobody knows. There's been rumors. You know how rumors are. I'm not going to talk about rumors. But that is, I would like to see your memories of the seniors. And I'm going to drop the call in. I'm doing all this by myself, guys. So just bear with me tonight. Hunter's not back yet. So I'm running the chat. I'm running the call-ins, and I'm talking to you. So make sure there's the link. I probably won't pin it. I'll probably just keep putting it in. And we do have trivia tonight. Dalpo and some of y'all, Chester, that want trivia, it's back tonight. I got us some trivia tonight. We'll hit that about the 30-minute mark probably, so stay tuned for that. I don't know what's going on with the training staff, to be honest. I don't know what's going on at practices. I don't know what causes – I think the biggest – and this would be a fair question, and I don't know the answer to this. Bobby, 18 seniors. I don't know the answer to this, but – who puts out the injury report? I think isn't that kind of a training staff deal? I thought I heard Brent Venables earlier in the year say he's not going to deal with the injury report. It's dealt with by, maybe he has somebody appointed on the training staff to say that. But I'd be interested to know, because OU's has been weird all year. Because they will have guys that aren't listed, and then 2 days later they're out. It's just like, why are they not listed and now they're out? Or they'll go from out to, or questionable to out, or probable out. It's wild. It's been a weird year. And Michael, there's your answer then. He'll talk about it more at the end of the season. So we won't know nothing over this week and next week. Next week's game, guys, against LSU prime time. The LSU fans are ready to get rid of Brian Kelly. You got LSU fans with Brian Kelly, you got OU fans with Brent Venables. That game, it's a primetime game. Everybody's looking for that one before the year too. Now it's like, now what? Hey, we got our first caller of the night. Let's see if we got this working. Hey, Greg, you there?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
How are you, man? Doing all right?
I'm doing well. My favorite memory of the current seniors would probably be last year versus BYU, Billy Bowman's near 100-yard pick six.
That is my exact one for Billy Bowman as well. I love that play. That was awesome.
I didn't get to see that game on TV. I was actually kind of on a little weekend trip with my wife. We were in St. Louis, and I was in like the St. Louis City Museum of Art, and I'm watching the game, like, in between all these fancy sculptures and whatnot on my phone. Nice. I shouted in the place when he had that pick six. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And they got some good, there's a lot of guys tomorrow, that are graduating that have done a lot of good things in Oklahoma. So I hope that they can play well and go out on a good note. Even if you weren't to win the game, play well, make a great effort, especially defense. Some of these defensive guys, man, Greg, they went from 4 years ago coming and went through a lot when Riley left and stuck it out and then came back last year. I would love for them to have a great defensive performance, man.
Oh, for sure. We're probably going to have to play a near perfect game and also try to capitalize on a lot of Alabama mistakes, but anything can happen. We're fighting them on our turf. I think anytime the Crimson and Cream can strap on the pads, I give us a chance. Like I said, it's an uphill battle. It's going to be tough, but you never know. For crying out loud, worse upsets have happened. We've seen it this year, and I think maybe these seniors give the guys some extra motivation, and maybe it can happen. You never know. I'm going to be rooting for them, so we'll see.
That's right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for the call.
See you.
Have a good night. Hey, one thing also and I think Brent alluded to this earlier this week, if you look at OU's turnovers as far as on defense, down the stretch here, they haven't got a whole lot of turnovers. That's kind of been one thing that they've fallen off on defense. And I think he alluded to it. It's because they're usually playing from behind, or they're playing where the other team knows they don't have to do too much. They just got to play pretty sound offensive football. They're not like going for broke with Pat. I mean, so I think if OU were to somehow have a chance tomorrow, it would be to get in the lead early, get out and get in front, and then make it where Alabama has to do more than just control the clock, which that's what teams are doing. There's not a whole lot of stress on these offenses that OU's playing because as far as getting turnovers, because you're not, shorten the game. You're not really putting your defense in position. So that's what has to happen tomorrow. You're right, KB. That very well could be true. I agree with that. I agree. Xavier Robinson needs to and Javonte Barnes, guys, questionable. So who knows if he's going to how much he's going to play or if he's going to play. I mean, the way it looks right now, questionable at OU, you're probably not going to play. I hate this too, Monty. But you know what? I give it up to them because both of them have said they don't regret it at all. So, and I don't think either one of them, it's not I don't think their stock dropped at all. Now, you could say maybe it didn't jump a ton, but it didn't drop at all. And Stutzman's up there in a lot of key stats. So, I mean, I think overall it didn't hurt them. They got another year. They got NIL. It does suck that the season went the way it was. I would agree with that, Monty. If OU runs the ball 45 times, throws less than 25 times, and wins tournament, all that has to be true, Cinema 1975. But that's how you win ball games, right there. Specifically, this team. Let's see here. I don't think Stutzman is a first-round pick. I don't. I think a lot of it's. I think second-round pick probably, but I think a lot of it's going to depend on what happens in the combines and stuff like that in the pro days. So we'll see. Let me see if I can drop this call-in chat in here for you again. One other thing I want to get to, guys. Hang with me. Bear with me. I don't know if anybody saw this, and we talked a little bit that's on this the other night. Bobby mentioned it, I think it was last night, about JUCO ranks. Well, the number one offensive tackle from the JUCO ranks, he decommitted, I think it was from Troy. He's visiting Ole Miss this weekend. OU needs to get in on him. Just go get in on him. A JUCO offensive tackle, the number one guy, Saquon Miles. Get in on it. I think JUCO rank is probably better than portal. I do. I think O linemen in the portal are very few and far between. Go get a guy that's out of the JUCO ranks and have him come in. I mean, I think you got to go try to. If Ole Miss is going after him, go in and try to get on him. That's what I would try to do. Bobby says Bowman stock drop. Yeah, I mean, you could probably say that. And here's the thing. Bobby. I would probably agree with that, but I think the thing with Bowman, with what he did last year on the interceptions and how many he returned for touchdowns, there was no chance he was going to do that this year. I mean, there's just no chance. I do think the last few games, I think Missouri game was one of his best games of the year, maybe last few years. I think he played great in that game. So you got 2 more games left to raise your stock against good teams. I mean, LSU's struggling, but and I think you're right, Bobby. I think you're right. He's from that area. But you know what? Go try to get him. I mean, you got to do what you can. We've all heard OU's going to all in. They're going to all in. Go all in and try to get some guys and try to keep this class together. You got to keep this class. I saw some people, I don't remember who put it about here about the OC being hired already because Sperry. Look, listen, the Sperry stuff, guys, I don't claim to know anything going on with that Sperry situation. I see a lot of stuff after the fact on Twitter that, hey, this was a long time coming. They knew this was going to happen. Ficklin, the guy from Muskogee that they're wanting to get, apparently has been in Norman a lot this year. Apparently he's been there quite a bit. And I'm sure that probably didn't make Sperry happy that they might be looking at another quarterback. There's a lot of things that could go into that. So I don't claim to know. All I know is he's in Florida. He's going to Florida State. And best wishes to Kevin Sperry. I'm not going to be a guy. Do not look at me and try to be a guy that's going to hate a guy for decommitting. I'm not that type of guy, okay? I'm not. These kids are 17, 18 years old. They can go wherever they want to go. If you don't want to go to OU, don't go to OU. I don't care. My whole thing all along on recruiting, guys, I've said it before. It's the committing thing that bothers me. And I don't see a reason for highly recruited guys to commit early. And unless you are daggum sure you're not leaving. Because I just think the chances of you just staying committed, being a high recruited guy, I think is slim because there's so many things being thrown at you. So take that off the plate. Just don't commit early. That's what I would say. 4.7. Do y'all think Stutzman runs a 4.7? He's faster than that, guys. I think Stutzman's faster than that. Personally, I don't know though. I'm not an NFL scout. Phone lines are open if you want to call in. Click on the link. You can call in. We'll get to trivia in a minute. I got some good trivia. I think it'll be a good one for tonight. You know what? KB brings up a good point. He says FSU throwing the money around that was going to be used for the buyout. Myron Charles from Texas may be on the bubble flipping. The other one is this: Michigan. Michigan's unloading with money. We got Steve on here. What's up, Steve? Third round grade, ran a 4.56 this summer. There you go. And so it is definitely higher than 4.7. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was 4.7. And he is a run stopper. I mean, go look at I cannot remember the stat that came out about him on run stopping. There's a specific stat for that. Steve may know it, and he can drop it in here. But he was one of the top 2 or 3 in the nation. So, and you know what? When I think about Danny's career, we were talking about best moments from these seniors' careers, because I think it's great that these guys that came back. It's not even one particular play with Danny that comes to mind. It's always, the last few years, it's the guy has plugged the holes and just short yardage, tackles for loss. He's been unbelievable in that aspect. And that's, he's going to be there. I mean, and that's the thing. And just watching him run sideline to sideline, I think he covers a lot of ground. He's 6'4". I mean, the dude's physical. I mean, so I love it. And, it was cool. The OU video they put out today about him talking, looked like a young pup, man, about 4 or 5 years ago. Listen to him talk about how aggressive he was. It's cool. There it is. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Number 1 in the nation, guys, run stop, 90.4%. You can't tell me NFL scouts aren't looking at that. So that's great. And Bobby, you hit it right on the head. This is it. And I texted Steve today, and kind of said the same thing. But Steve, unbelievable son, okay? I mean, just watching him play for 4 years in Oklahoma has been a joy. Always be a Sooner legend. He'll go down as one of the great linebackers at Oklahoma. So enjoy it. I know it's got to be a bittersweet deal going down for the last game. So enjoy it, man. Big time. The kid from Muskogee needs to be a Sooner. A lot of people like Ficklin. I personally have never seen him play. I've heard a lot of great things about him. I've heard if he wasn't at Muskogee, he would not be a 3-star. He'd be a 4-star. If he was at Bigsby or Jinx, I don't know. Maybe some people on here have seen him play. I haven't. So that would be something for maybe if someone's seen him play. But yeah. Is game day supposed to be here tomorrow? No, game day's not. I believe game day's at Ohio State, Indiana. But you do have the crew calling it with Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Holly Rowe will be there. Going to be a little chilly tomorrow night, but man, if you would have told me before the season, Alabama, prime time, I'd be like, buckle up, let's go. And that's what guys. I know the OU season has not been good. Okay. Nobody can deny that. It hasn't been good. But you play to win the game. Okay. And every game can be won or lost. Okay. People in here that want to be negative, that's fine. I've been negative a lot this year. That's totally fine. And if you don't pick OU, that's totally fine. I'm just saying, you never know. I'm going to enjoy the game tomorrow and go watch it. Maybe something happens that we haven't seen this year. Okay. Now, it would be I think somebody said earlier, it'd have to be almost a perfect game. I agree with that. I think you have to play offense. You have to play ball control and not turn the ball over. And you got to give your defense a chance. Now, so I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, we'll see. You got to go play it and see what happens. So, and I can promise you these seniors, and it's not just the seniors, guys. I think anybody that's played sports, if you're not a senior and you go out there and it's those seniors' last game, you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in the locker room. And all you want to do as a player is send them out on top. And I would hope and pray that that's all what the OU faithful in the locker room was wanting to do, send these guys out on top. Go out there, Leave it all on the table. Leave it all out there on the field and see what happens. That's all you can do. Hey, phone lines are open. Ron says, I have to believe the staff will leave no stone unturned. I kind of disagree, Ron, in one aspect. I don't, this might sound bad, but I don't think you can throw the kitchen sink offensively out there. I think I said it during the Missouri game when you got the ball back with what? 40 seconds left. Do not throw the ball. Go to overtime. I think you cannot get out of what they can't get out of their own way if they're starting to try to throw the ball down, do a bunch of stuff. I mean, you can take your chances once or twice down the field, but I don't think anybody wants them dropping back to pass 30 to 40 times tomorrow. I just don't think that can happen. I think we've seen what's happened with that. It hasn't been good. And you're out Farouk, you're out Burks, you're out your other receivers, and that's it. Can't get complicated. Keep it simple. Run the ball. I would agree with that. Short passes, run the ball. You know what? I have not seen enough of this year. As much as we want to bash Jeff Lebby last year, I'd like to see a few more wide receiver screens, honestly, because I just don't think you've had time to throw it down the field, and I don't think the quarterbacks have been very good throwing it down the field. What is it that Barry Switzer said? I know somebody will drop this in here, but Barry Switzer used to say, there's only two things that can happen when you pass the ball, and they're both bad. Somebody dropped that quote in here. I know somebody knows it. One's an interception. I can't. Or somebody please drop that. It's going to bother me now. Bother my mind now if I can't remember it. That's very well. I think Ryan Williams is an unbelievable talent. I think you got to eliminate two things defensively. You have to do eliminate the big play. And you got to stop Milroe on the ball. I think that would be if I was, and I'm not, but if I was the guy, I'd be like, no big plays and stop the run. That would be my thing. Who knows about Petaway? I think Dent should play Johnson. I know we've been both on the same page there. I would agree with maybe lots of blitzes, possibly. Bobby says, I think the defense is going to play unbelievable for their seniors. It's unfortunate. Yeah, and it's right. I've heard a lot of people this week say, if OU had a top 50 offense, who knows where to be. And I kind of agree with that. Like, we haven't really seen this defense in a pure like what they could be, I don't think, because it's just been so pathetic offensively. There it is. Sooner fan dropped it in here. There's only 3 things can happen when you pass. 2 of them are bad. Incompletion and interception. That's right. And I guess you could throw something else in there, and I'll say 3 things could be bad. Sack. Okay? So I'm going to change that quote. 3 things can happen when you drop back to pass, and 3 of them are bad. Interception, incompletion, and sack. And that's just with this year's offense. That's not in general, obviously. No, Johnson, 0 chance, I think. I mean, why would he? He hasn't played this long. Why would they put him in there now? I don't see it happening. I agree. He needs a start. He needs at least 15 carries, Thunder OU Sooner. I would give him at least 15 carries. How many wide receivers portal? Too early to say, but I think you're going to at least have. I say the over. Okay, let me put the over under on 3. What are you taking? What are you taking? Over unders at 3, guys. What are you taking? Hey, Vortex, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Vortex. Jeremy, the other guy to my right or left, is not here tonight. He'll be back tomorrow. It should be fun. Over or under? Del Cent says over. Over. A lot of people are going to say over, I think. That's kind of what Dent. That's right. Yes. Sooner WX. It will be packed. Now, how long do they stay? Depends on the score, but it will be packed, I think. It's Alabama. People have wanted this game for years, guys. I agree with this, Thunder. I've been saying this for a while. I hate the red shirt. I don't see a point in it anymore. It doesn't do you a whole lot of good anymore. Bobby says push. I'm kind of with Bobby. That's why, hey, you know what? I'm kind of pretty good at this. Vegas odds. That's why I picked 3, Bobby. Packed with Bama fans. I don't think so, but student section needs to show up. Now, here's the thing. I've wondered this too. You got Thanksgiving week, so that you don't have school this week. And then next week when you play LSU, they're going to be on Thanksgiving break coming back. You wonder what kind of crowd you'll get there depending on what they do. I got an upset special tomorrow, by the way. Let's just throw it out here. 24 minutes in. I got an upset special. Mark it down. Now, this might tell you to go ahead and go to Vegas and put it on the other team. if you watched us for any period of time, you know that a lot of times I'm wrong on picks, but I'm going to say it anyway. Ole Miss tomorrow. I think Florida gets them. I do. I think Florida's playing well. I think they get Ole Miss tomorrow. Ole Miss has been talking about don't want to, this SEC championship game and blah, 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 blah. And this is their chance to finally make a playoff. They can do it. All they got to do is win out. And I can't remember who they played the last. Oh, the Egg Bowl probably. So they're going to win that game. This is it for them. This is all they got to do. And I think they lose tomorrow. I think Florida gets them. Danny, I have no sources, and I don't know if you have any sources. I would probably guess, I don't know if anybody has any sources in here unless they're reading stuff on boards, but I would say this. If I had to pick one of those two to be transferring, this might surprise people. I'd probably pick Nick. But they could both transfer. You're right. They could. I don't know, though. I don't have a source. I have a source of light in my garage right now. That's about it. Indiana 28-20. Woo! 28-20. Okay. I would love it. I saw Dan Mullen on the broadcast with Paul Feinbaum. I don't know if anybody saw this. There's an upset too. Army, I would love that. I want Notre Dame out of there. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Get a conference. Get out. Everybody that's talking about Indiana, and this was a great point by Dan Mullen. By the way, Dan, come on down. Coach offense for Oklahoma. I'd love it. He said everybody that's talking about Indiana, if they lose to Ohio State, they should be out of the playoff because it's the first team they played that's any good and they should be out. What does that mean? If Indiana beats Ohio State should be out? Because if you're going to say that and Indiana beats them, Ohio State needs to go bye-bye. They need to be out of the playoff. It won't happen because they're too highly ranked. But the point is true. Like, if Indiana beats them, are you going to drop Ohio State all the way out of the playoff? But you're going to drop Indiana with the one loss. I just think it's an interesting point. SEC football says 56-3. Get out of here. 56-3, no chance. Jeremy's shaving his head. He already said that 40 points or more. It's not happening. No chance. 56-3. Come on now. OU's been bad, but they aren't that bad. Come on. Hey, was anybody but surprised on the line that came out for the Texas A&M game? I was kind of surprised it was 7.5 by Texas. I thought that was a little high. I don't know what y'all thought. I thought that was a little bit high. I thought it would be around 3 or 4. Mullen hasn't done anything. Why do you think he's sitting here on his rear end? James, that's an absolute dumb. That's a ridiculous comment. He's one of the winningest coaches in the SEC over the last 10 years. Okay. But whatever. I mean, that's fine. He didn't do good his last year there at Florida. It was bad. But there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that want him right now. I'll say that. I just did shave my head. I shaved the sides, bro. Mac, look at this, bro. I haven't shaved the top yet, but I did shave the sides. Which team, Sooner WX, which team do you think right now will win it all? Ooh, let me think about that for a second. Right now, I'm not sold on Oregon. I'll say that. Right now, I would pick Ohio State over Oregon. So I would right now have Ohio State. Let me think about who I'd have them playing against. I have Ohio State in the final game. Let me think about it for a minute. I think right now I'm picking Ohio State to win the whole thing. Not Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss. I got Ohio State right now. Texas. I think Texas, I think they're pretty good. And by the way, Mike, you must know my brother because nobody, and I mean nobody, calls me Mr. Lusk. Okay. So it's definitely not me that you're wanting to talk to. That's my bro because he used to be a school teacher. I cannot tell y'all how many times I've walked around cities when we used to live in the same city. I'd be walking in Target and I have people come up to me and say, Mr. Lusk. And, funny story. It's a funny story. Actually, I'll get to this. If y'all don't know, Jeremy's not on there right now. We're twin brothers. But I had a guy come up to me once and start kind of just shooting the breeze with me. And you know how sometimes you kind of get into a conversation with somebody and you're like, man, who is that? I can't put my finger on who this guy is. That's kind of what I was doing. I was like, I know this guy. I think, who is this guy? We were in a conversation. We talked for about 5 minutes. And then he goes on to tell me, yeah, I'll see you at school tomorrow. I'm thinking, who's this guy? Well, it was my brother's principal, works with him, and called my brother, and he was like, did you tell him you weren't me? I was like, no, too far into the conversation. Can't do it. Too far into the conversation. Had to just act like I was you, man. But yeah, so there's another Mr. Lush. You guys must be you must go to school with Jeremy there. I don't believe everyone. Brett, I don't either. I don't believe a lot of people. So, John Cap Hover. Where is John Hover tonight? Haven't seen John Hover tonight. John, call in. Phone lines are open. I'll do this if Jeremy's not on here. Call in, John. Call in, buddy. Jeremy would absolutely, you know what Jeremy would hate is if you called in and he wasn't on here. He might lose it. He might lose it if he was not be able to be on here. And this is a fair statement. I would agree with this, SDR. You can't name your source, so you lose your source. I agree with that. A lot of people say, tell me your source. Can't tell a source, you lose it. You know what? The only thing I would say to this Sooner WX is say that Mullen's like, I want to see what head coach positions open up. I don't want to commit to being an OC because maybe a position opens up that I'd rather be a head coach at. So that would be the only thing. Now, I think Michigan's going to go heavy and hard at Dan Mullen. I also think Michigan might go hard about some other people. But I think Dan Mullen's name is going to continually come up. Now, whether or not he wants to take an OC job, I think that's something nobody knows. And people could say, oh, he said head coach. Nobody, people are going to say whatever. Nobody, until it happens, until he says, no, I'm not coaching at all, then I think we can say it's over. Michael says, so if we lose 20 players to the portal, Fasusi and others decommit, we end up 5-7. Well, Michael, here's the thing. I think all that is happening. You got December 4th, signing day. You got December 9th, portal, how it opens. Okay. And say, okay, let's just play a game here. Michael, say they go 5-7. Okay. December 4th, you have signing day, you lose guys. And then you have the portal. What are you going to do? Fire a coach after all that happens? You've lost your recruiting class is over. The portal's open, but I just think by then you can't. So they've made their decision. They're sticking with BV. Now you got to write it out, and it's on BV to keep the class together. It's on BV to keep the portal together. It's on BV to go hire maybe an OC that people don't want to portal out of. Okay, that's my biggest thing. Is like everyone's like, who should they hire at OC? Go hire an OC that people want to come in here and play. Go hire an OC that you can go to another school, get a guy from LSU and say, come play at Oklahoma. Look who we got coming in to coach offense. You're going to want to be a part of it. Don't go hire somebody where people are like, I don't know if I want to go play there. Make people come. That's what you do when you make a good hire. You go make a home run hire and people want to come play there. I just like, it's like if you're 5-7, you got to make changes and you got to make them like ASAP. So yeah, it's a ridiculously high buyout. And what did I say? I don't know why we said wow. I don't know the pause stuff. What did I say? Did I say something? I don't know. I don't think I did. But need that clout. I agree. You need somebody that's going to come in here and be able to do that. I don't think BV is the answer. With that said, I think he's being handcuffed financially. Now, we did hear him say that they're going to do everything they can. We'll see, though. And Max asking who's the home run hire besides Mullen. I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know at this point. Now, are you asking me, is Craddock and Arbuckle a home run hire? No. Those aren't what I call home runs. Now, can they be great? Well, I'll say this. I think Arbuckle could be decent. I think he could be okay. I'm not a fan of Craddock. I'm not. And I know people develop as far as coordinators. They get better. And maybe he's gotten a lot better. I just remember him at Arkansas it wasn't good at all. And maybe I'm having too much of a time lapse and thinking about that. I'm not a big fan of it. Okay. Kenneth, quit hollering by hiring Dan Mullen. Kenneth, you can have your opinion about Dan Mullen. I don't care. If you think he's a loser, you can say he's a loser. I don't care. I can say I don't think he's a loser. Okay. And we're both fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. You can say whatever you want to say, but don't tell me I can't call him a good coach. You can say if you want to call him a loser, that's fine. I can also say I think he'd be a good hire. Okay. And I understand that, Jimmy. I know, and I'm a non-Chad Morris guy. I don't like Chad Morris' style at all. And I know he was under him quite a bit. And I also I know I've said this before, I have a problem when you hire people that you're familiar with. I just think sometimes that's not the best thing. And he's familiar with Craddock from Clemson. And that's my problem with it, SDR. I think that's my biggest problem. I think they need to go get somebody that's not tied to Venables. That's my personal opinion. Again, people may disagree, and that's why I say no to Kevin Wilson. No, I don't want any tie. I just don't. I want a guy that would come in here and just run the offense and kind of just like BV, run the whole team, hire somebody to run the offense. Yeah, I don't think that would happen either. Yeah. Did you see the buyout for Brian Kelly? Whoo. Unbelievable. Miami's OC is Dawson. I've heard his name lately, but I just don't know if it means anything. And this, I think, Bobby, this is a great point. And we could probably spend 2 hours on this. The position OU's in right now, the main problem is last year, we're talking about right now how much time they're going to spend on hiring an OC. We've mentioned 6 or 7 guys that maybe they're talking to or whatever. Who knows? Last year, apparently they talked to Mullen. Who knows if that happened? I don't know. But they hired Seth Luttrell 2 days after Levy left. Okay. They didn't do a whole lot of searching last year. It doesn't look like to me. Now, it just doesn't seem like they did to me. I just think you're seeing a lot more this year that maybe they're talking to more people and actually, but don't you think, I would think that Brent Venables, when they fired Seth Luttrell, okay, I think everybody knows Joe John Finley was not getting the job at OU. He was not going to be the offensive coordinator. So when you make that change to Seth Luttrell, you got to already have in your mind, okay, who are the top 2 home run guys I can get come in here? My job's going to be on the line. If you're Brent Venables, your job is going to be on the line. So you got to go get somebody that's going to basically, is going to be a turnkey that they should be good offensively. Who are those 2 guys? That's my thing. And this is what I'm saying, Miguel. Me and you are on the same page, Miguel. You call out every big name guy that you think is a home run hire on offense and say, hey, this is how much money we can give you. Do you want to come coach offense? And you do, every one of them, before you start talking to the other people. And I agree, Jason, 0 ties. 0. I don't want any of them. None. And money does talk, Gray God. You know what? Maybe I'm not even going to say Dan Mullen's name because Kenneth may get all mad because he thinks he's a loser. And agree, Coconut. It's a small list, but why? Why is it that small a list? Is there nobody else out there that you could say? I'm just trying to think. Okay, I mean, you go offer these guys anybody you think they would be good. Okay, for instance, we've heard Cliff Kingsbury's in the NFL. He wouldn't come to the college, but whatever. Go offer him. There's no chance I would offer Jimbo Fisher. I can't stand Jimbo Fisher. But what about, I've heard the name Rich Rodriguez thrown out. What do people think about Rich Rodriguez? I don't know. I'm just saying, are there guys out there that you think would be great at calling offense that have been head coaches before that you don't think would be it, but just go after them? I don't know. And nobody mentioned Tom Herman in here, please. Tom Herman, no. I think there is a list, just few available. Bobby says Bobby Petrino. I would offer him. Although my problem with Bobby Petrino, I'll say this, Bobby. My problem with Bobby Petrino is I don't think that offense, can you sustain that type of offense in the SEC? Now, at Arkansas, he had a few good years when he was head coach running it. They haven't been great offensively this year. If you go look at it, they've been great. They've been pretty good in games, but they've kind of been inconsistent. But, and I agree with this. I think they are so close to getting rid of Sam Pittman that he's just waiting around to be that. Because I think there's a lot of people that probably won't hire him as a head coach, but Arkansas would. Hey, Hub, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. That's what I have against him. You know how sometimes you just don't like certain play styles? I don't like their offenses. I don't think he was very good at Clemson at all. Kenneth, only a fool would get up there and say, I hate recruiting, so that makes him a loser. And Dak Prescott was drafted in the 4th round. Trask is really trash. I got a question for you, Kenneth. If he's such a bad offensive coach, I don't care about recruiting right now. I don't care about. Tell me this: if he's you can call in phone line. Let me drop it in here again. I'm going to drop it in here again, just in case anybody wants to call in, because I'm kind of getting fired up here because the whole Mullen stuff. Listen, this is about coaching offense, is it not? You're throwing a name like Dak Prescott out there saying he was drafted in the 4th round. How the heck did Dan Mullen win in the SEC with a 4th round quarterback? How? How did he win in the SEC with the 4th round quarterback? Thanks, Kenneth, for making my point for me that he's a good offensive coach. That's what you just made a point that he's a good offensive coach. That's all I care about. Somebody come in here and call offense. That's what I want. Okay, Miguel, this was mentioned by McElroy. McElroy came on, I think it was Teddy and Gabe. I'm not a fan, okay? And I know that he's kind of changed from the triple option is what McElroy said, but I'm just not, I don't think there's enough there for me to say, okay. Now, Casey Woods, here's the thing. Does Casey Woods call plays or does Rhett Lashley call plays? Rhett Lashley got a pay raise and an extension today, which they needed to do that. You know what they thought? I promise you, SMU thought, you know what's going to happen? Pittman's going to leave Arkansas, and they're going to come throwing money at Lashley. That's probably what they're worried about. So they went ahead and offered him. That was smart on SMU's part. He's an Arkansas dude. He went to Springdale High. He's an Arkansas guy. They probably would have came after him. It was smart for SMU to do that. Yeah, I say no to Drew Cronick either. Hey, I got a question. Who is Notre Dame's offensive coordinator? Who knows that? Maybe on here. And while you're thinking of that, let me get to some trivia. But first, check out the FanStop. www.thefanstop.com. Use code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Make sure you do that. There's the banner across the bottom. But they got officially licensed merchandise. You can gift your family and friends it for Christmas. All you got to do is just sign them up. And there you go. It'd be a Christmas present. It's great stuff. So here's trivia for the night. And thank you, Denbrock. What do y'all think about Denbrock? Trivia for the night. And 9 years ago today, guys, 9 years ago today, Samaje Perine broke the record, rushing record. Oklahoma got the national record, 427 yards, I believe. Here's the trivia question, though. Dalpost, you better be ready this. Here we go, man. Yeah, there are people already putting it in the chat. There it is, 427. How much time was left in the game when he broke the record? That's what I want to know. How much time was left in the game when he broke the record? I think this will be getting fairly quickly. Denbrock, I don't care who stays, who goes, arrives anymore, no matter what. That's right. I'm going to root for him too. 6 minutes. Nope, not it. Not it, Danny. Yeah, OU women just won. 3 minutes. No, I think some people will be surprised by this. Not 9 minutes. And to get this right, you have to get it on the nose, okay? You have to get it on the nose. It's not 9 minutes. There's seconds involved too, guys. Not halftime, William. not 2 minutes. This might go all the rest of the show. Is there, I mean, offensive coordinator wise, is there names out there that we're not talking about that maybe's out there? Now, I have heard more Craddock stuff. I'm not sold on Craddock. I mean, go look at Tulane this year. And I know it's Tulane, but go look at what they've done against good competition. I don't think it's been very good offensively. And I know that he doesn't have the talent there that he would have at Oklahoma, so that's not fair. But hey, Kenneth, I'm waiting on you to ask. I want you to answer one question. Is Dan Mullen? You can put Dan Mullen's a loser. Please do in the chat if you think he is, Kenneth. But I want you to answer one question for me, Kenneth. You can either call in and answer this question, Kenneth, or you can just drop it in the chat. It's pretty simple. Is Dan Mullen a good offensive coach? That's all I want to know. Yes or no? And then we'll leave it at that, Kenneth. You can put he's a loser, but he's a good offensive coach if you want to say that. But is he a good offensive coach? That's all I want to know. And I have yet to see the answer. We are very close here with William. William's very close with 12:26. You got the first two numbers right. 12 minutes and something. But you got the first two numbers right. I agree. Lame duck coach limits. And that might be fair. We'll see on that. The answer is yes. But I want Kenneth to drop it in here. I don't know where Kenneth went. Did Kenneth leave? Yeah, he did good to Lincoln Riley's teams. Okay. 12-16, not it. You're very close. Y'all are close. You're getting closer by going down. You need to go farther down from 12-16, guys and gals. Hey, and Mac, this is a great point, but I'm willing to take that risk at Oklahoma. I would take it. Okay. 1208, a little bit farther south, guys. You're getting hot. Not 1206. Boom. Look at this. I mean, wait. Oh, Gray God, I think got you. Gray God got you, Dow Post. I thought you might have had the first trivia win. It looks like Gray God's got it. 1202. Gray God. 1202 left in the game. He could have had 500 yards. Unbelievable. I was shocked when I saw that stat today. 427 yards, and there was still 1202 left. Good job, Gray God. Trivia is back officially. Thanks, Dow Post, for pushing us to do that. William says, wait on what, William? Gray God got it. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Kenneth, where you at? You here? Kenneth, are you in the chat still? Please answer the question for me. I'd like to know. Is Dan Mullen a good offensive coach? Oh, Williams got the game pulled up. Listen, this is going off KREF on Twitter. So if you have a problem with it, KREF on Twitter, put it out there. Gray God's calling him out, coming for Bobby's trivia record. Bobby slumping tonight, the first one back and doesn't get the win. You can have anybody you want to go see. You have to have the players. It's 1202. Yeah, you're right, William. That's what I just said. 1202. Yep. You did not win, Ski. It's 1202 and OU still sucks. Did I win? No, you actually lost. Should have kept feed and pin right. Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. That's right. I think Kenneth is gone. Sorry, Kenneth. Maybe tomorrow night you can answer the question. I'm not calling you out, kind of am, but I just want to know. I would love your opinion. You say he's a loser, and you say that's because of recruiting. I get it. But can he coach offense? Pretty simple question. Can he coach offense? Not surprised. People don't like it when you get called out. You know what? I'm still here. I get called out every night. Doesn't bother me. I'm still here. I'm alive and well. I'm doing great. Doesn't bother me. Bring it. Whatever you want to say, come on. It doesn't bother me. So Dan Mullen, no, not Dan Mullen yet. Nobody's been hired. Okay, but I think AD, I get it. But doesn't that sometime also go hand in hand? I mean, are we sitting here saying, now, I think that's another question for another day, is Do you think Emmett Jones, DeMarco Murray, the guys are on staff right now, if they were to be there next year, how confident are you in the recruiting? I think Emmett Jones has proven to be good, but here's the thing. They haven't looked great with all those young guys this year offensively, but they're young. They're young. Kenneth is back. Thanks, Kenneth. Appreciate you. Hey, you owned up to it. He's the average. Oh, come on. He's the average offensive coordinator that coached quarterbacks that didn't know how to read a different defense, and they still don't want to read defense. What? I'm confused by that. I'm confused. Hey, Kenneth, we will agree to disagree and we'll move on. Okay, bud? We'll agree to disagree, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Hey, drop your score predictions tomorrow night. Drop them in the chat. Who do you got? Also, man, it's going to be kind of a surreal moment for me. Watching Danny Stutzman, watching Billy Bowman, Ethan Downs, we could go down the list. It's going to be a surreal moment watching them run on the field, on the Palace on the Prairie for the last time. Yeah, make your answer a little bit more simple. It's pretty yes or no. Can Dan Mullen coach offense? Yes or no? Pretty simple. You know what? Kenneth sounds a little bit like Jeremy when I go at Jeremy for an answer. He kind of goes around it a little bit. That's what Jeremy does. Jeremy's probably watching right now on a bus. Yes, they're all saying yes. So they're pretty simple answers. He's got some rings, won a couple natties. Yeah, I mean, go back and watch him. He's pretty good. Waffle. Yeah, Germ's a waffler. There you go. He's going to hate that I'm saying that. No, Jason, let me say something real quick. Germ he drove a bus of students to the Sapulpa High School game. It was a playoff game. I think they got beat, so he's driving back. Can't be on when you're on a bus. So he's out tonight, but I thought I'd get on here anyway and at least do it myself because I like it. I like talking to Surgeaholics. Y'all are the best. So appreciate you guys, and also appreciate that you just are on here nightly. It's awesome stuff. Trumpet performance. I don't have a trumpet. Actually, maybe y'all don't know this, but me and Jeremy both play trumpet. I play trumpet too. I don't have a trumpet anymore. Otherwise, I'd probably play it for you. So, but I don't have one. Is there a team tomorrow, before we close this tonight? Thanks, KB. Appreciate it. Is there a team tomorrow that you think upset alert? We saw some teams earlier, and it causes the playoff to get blown up. I think there's some big-time games tomorrow for the playoff. You look at Ohio State, Indiana. I think if you're an SEC homer and you're not wanting the SEC to get screwed, you need Ohio State to win that game. Because Indiana winning that game pretty much gives both of them going to be in the playoff. If you're an SEC homer, you got to be rooting. You want to be rooting for Ohio State and eliminate Indiana. Because I do think the way it's falling right now, and one SEC team is going to get screwed. Or if Notre Dame loses, that would help too. You need Notre Dame to lose. Kenneth says, when Urban Meyer moved to Ohio State, did he bring Dan Mullen along? Wasn't Dan Mullen at Florida? Somebody look this up for me. I don't have time to look it up because I'm on the chat trying to get this. I've been horrible at it. I've been bad at the chat tonight. Come at me, guys. I've been horrible at the chat. This has been pathetic. I have not hit as many comments as I should be. Sorry. Apologize. I have been bad at the chat. I mean, I can admit I have not gotten as many as I wanted to. So I apologize for that, guys. Don't hold it against me. Better tomorrow night with Jeremy on here and Hunter back. But when did he go to Ohio State? And then when was Mullen at Florida? I thought he coached Florida. He was at Mississippi State, wasn't he? You're going to go get a coach from Mississippi State to go be your offensive coordinator at Florida? I mean, at Ohio State? Kenneth, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Please. It doesn't make sense. Bama and on upstart alert. Ski, hey, come back tomorrow night, bud. Hey, Ski, if OU beats Bama tomorrow, you need to be the first one in here tomorrow night. I want tomorrow night. If OU beats Bama, I need you in here tomorrow night. Okay. I don't think Texas is on upset alert. They're going to beat. I know it's look ahead game for A&M, but they're going to win. Yeah, he was at Florida and Ole Miss. That's right. Jay, you look like a monk. Why? Because I shaved my sides, man. I thought it was a pretty good looking cut, mess. I actually like it. Okay. Gundy should have been a suspect. Let's keep the comments clean. Keep the comments clean. Thanks, Dalpost. Appreciate that. Yeah, please hit the like button. It does help the channel, believe it or not. Also, tell your friends about it. That helps too. But we don't do it for the clicks. You know what? We don't do it for the clicks. We don't do it for the views. We do it because Surgeaholics on here. Y'all are the best. Let me get some more comments. Tomorrow will be the bottoming out of the program. November 1997 versus A&M revisited. I don't think so. I don't think it'll be as bad as people think. I could see a lot of people putting wild scores in here. Oh, the attire? Is a green hoodie a monk? I'm getting confused, mess. Army beats Notre Dame. I'm going to say no to that. But, hey, could happen. Earthbender. Man, what is that? This is funny. It looks brown. It's actually green. It's like a forest green. Sorry, guys. Mississippi State over Missouri. There's a good one. Okay. I got Ole Miss losing to Florida. That's my upset special. You might want to go drop money on Florida. I mean, go drop money on Ole Miss after I said that. Notre Dame wins big. Ring, ring, ring. I'll even throw in a boomer, but it ain't happening. Call in tomorrow, Ski. Call in tomorrow. I don't think we score a touchdown in the final two games. Jason, right now, hey, what do you want me to do if Oklahoma does not score a touchdown in the final two games? You name it, Jason. Right now, name it. 57 minutes into this live, name something you want me to do if OU doesn't score a single touchdown in the final two games. I'm here for it. Whatever you want me to do, bro, I'm here. I'm here for it. Yeah, BV's not getting fired, even if they lose the next two games. Not happening. It's brown? Why is it brown? It's dark green. It's odd. What's going on tonight? Jeez. What is going on? Yeah, they won the basketball. Basketball started. It's hard to concentrate on basketball with football going on, though, isn't it? Hey, Big Orange. Tennessee needs to be before Ohio State tomorrow, buddy. Because Tennessee could get screwed out of this whole thing. If I'm a little worried that the SEC is going to get a team screwed out of there. Thank you, Thunder. Thank you. It's green. How hard is it? What's going on, Obi-Wan Kenobi, KB? I am not a Star Wars fan, by the way. I don't know if y'all are Star Wars fans. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I know that might tick some people off. I'm not. Obi-Wan Kenobi. There we go. Yoda. Hey, that's fine. Yoda's pretty cool. What else tonight? Anything else before we close this thing up tonight? Green on Jimmy's in. Thank you. Hey, first off, let me say this. Thank you to all you guys and gals here. Appreciate it. Always. Jason, real quick, I'm trying to comment. I'll buy a shirt. By the way, that leads me to something. We got some Sooner Search merch we're working on with the Fan Stop. And when this comes available, we'll let you know. We're really trying to figure out what we want it to say. We're going to come up with something pretty cool. I think you'll like it. So stay tuned for that. We're going to probably do shirts and hats. So stay tuned. Yeah, Sooner Surge Light. Is the audio bad, guys? I think my audio seems fine. BV's buyout's $44 million. But anyway, be stay tuned for the merchandise that we'll be releasing. But yeah, a couple more comments and I'll get off here. Kenneth, did you see coach that recently been firing SC? You hadn't seen nobody come try to hire Dan Mullins. Oh, I actually, Kenneth, I've heard a lot of people kind of throwing his name out there this year, but and that's fine. We can. Hey, Kenneth, we disagree on Dan Mullen. It's totally fine. Okay. Who sounds like a robot? Me? All right. Anyway, we'll close this thing up. I appreciate all y'all. Tomorrow we got a few videos I think coming out. I think we're going to do a video on Sooners seniors, talk about each one of them. We are going to have post-game live. You want to be here for the post-game live tomorrow night. I can promise you that. Directly following the game, when that clock hits 0, we will be live. Mess, I'm dropping my score tomorrow before the game on a video or on a pregame video. I will drop it. But I will let you know that for sure. We'll have it on a video. Thanks, Selene. Still love the podcast, even though my shirt is throwing people off. Tomorrow will be interesting. That's right. Can't wait. What time tomorrow? I don't know yet on the pregame videos, but postgame will be right after the game. Appreciate it. Let's get a win tomorrow, Sooners. Let's go. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Have a great Saturday morning. Prayers to our dad. Thanks, KB. Prayers to your dad, bro. Prayers to your dad as well. I know he's been going through some things as well. So back at you, KB. Everybody have a good night. You're the best.